Hello, partners. My researcher and writer, Dennis Daly, and I have brought you these special stories for almost 3 years. I have many times mentioned that the ending of my report was very similar to what the late great ABC commentator Paul Harvey used to call the rest of the story. Well, partners, this week it really is special because our honoree is Paul Harvey. He was an American patriot who fought with the power of the English language with simple words. In an interview with a national reporter one time, Paul said, and I'm going to quote him now, "I've never seen a television story or a movie or a film that contain the kind of phenomenal pictures my brain can paint. That's why I think radio is the ultimate visual medium." Paul went on to say, "There's nothing anybody can do to that flat two-dimensional screen of television that compares to the incredible pictures that are painted by your minds when you hear simple words. It happens best when our mind's eye is stimulated by our beautiful language." End quote. Partners, many years ago, Dennis wrote a special speech for me. It contained a phrase that I now use as something to describe the words that paint a beautiful, wonderful picture. In this speech, he referred to America as a land of immigrants. He called the great mixture of peoples an incredible interwoven patchwork quilt that is the texture of our society. It's indeed our strength. That is the kind of visual imagery Paul Harvey used every day on his reports. For nearly half a century, Paul Harvey presented the news as he saw it. His broadcasts were labeled news and commentary. Paul presented his own slant on things and let listeners know that he was presenting his opinion. But his opinions changed over the years. When the Vietnam War began, Paul Harvey was a far-right hawk on the war, demanding victory. By the time the war was winding down, he was on the side of those who agreed that the way was to negotiate. That's the way to get out, not to fight on. He openly talked about his religious faith and his long-time association with Billy Graham. Paul Harvey was more than a patriot, he was a poet. I'm reminded of several phrases he wrote, and partners, what you're going to hear is not a news story. It's a commercial for Electric Information Institute. As I read these words, listen in your mind. You might hear Paul Harvey reading them. Here goes. The next time you see high voltage wires braced against a streaked and stormy sky, remember that they're carrying electricity from some far-off place where it is made, yet to another place where it turns off the darkness. Wow. Simple words crafted by the master wordsmith, Paul Harvey, an American patriot who lived during our time. Hey, partners, I'll see you next week. Until then, you know the drill. Find that big old red X up there to the right. Click on it, and you'll be magically transported back to the report page. I love you guys. Dennis, thank you so much. Go get 'em, Tigers!